Environment decides our moods, our emotions, our thoughts, our actions, and based on that, our genes also changes. Automatically, it adjusts itself based on our moods. Sometime in 1981, I was with Babuji Maharaj. He was sitting in one corner and he was trying to walk, I thought, towards the door to enter his bedroom. But suddenly he turned towards me where I was seated and he expressed very profound things. And he said, I am changing the genetic pattern of human race. I was very young then, I was hardly 23, 24. And I didn't understand the impact of what he was saying. I didn't even understand what Babuji meant by genetic mutation. I thought, oh wow, maybe he's talking it from his hat. And being a pharmacy student, I was analyzing, but at the same time, I knew in the heart of my heart that yes, it is possible. When Babuji decides to do it, it is possible. But Babuji cannot do anything unless and until we all come together. And what is meant by coming together? Coming together the way we are is not going to change anything. Coming together of like minded people with evolved consciousness is meaningful. And our consciousness can change only when we practice diligently, the way it is prescribed. Unless and until each one of us carry that signature consciousness, egregore cannot be reached. And unless a certain population within the community come together and reach this climax of consciousness, till then it's not going to happen. See? And when we are studying some scientific researches these days, that it is the environment that changes the genetic disposition. It's a proven scientific fact. Depending upon the environment in a family, the child's growth is also determined accordingly. Genetic disposition is already determined by the environment. See, it starts from the very early days when, for the first time, two chromosomes meet and they come and form an egg and then embryo and then it multiplies. But each moment, it is influenced by the surrounding. If mother is surrounded by a violent atmosphere versus mother is surrounded by peaceful, holier atmosphere, then the disposition of the growing embryo will be different. You see, how the child would later on think and express itself will be totally different. And it is all determined by that environment. The way we conduct ourselves in a family, that brings in and cultivates the future of our family. And it continues like that. See. Have you seen one thing that when you visit Smashan Bhumi, for example, where all are in a very sad mood, morose mood, all absorbed in godly remembrance, perhaps, remembrance of the one who is lost, who is passed on. And this atmosphere impacts us equally. Some and no one can escape this sadness. Likewise, when you go to a party clubhouse and see what happens there, the atmosphere there is different and it impacts you differently. Similar thing happens in a hospital. For example, when your loved one is in a hospital and you go, what happens to you then? So it all depends on the environment. Environment decides our moods, our emotions, our thoughts, our actions, and based on that, our genes also changes. Automatically, it adjusts itself based on our moods. So when many of us come together, like-minded spiritual people, And when that intensity, I mean, whether there are two very serious abhyasis or 200 abhyasis but not very serious. So you have to wonder whether what matters, is it the number or is it the quality of consciousness of each individual? So Babuji says it's all about consciousness which is so refined, but not just by one person, but multitude of it. And when that happens and society is impacted, then look at this Madhu or look at this Nagaraja or look at this Girish, and they become the inspiration to the society, where one feel like changing oneself and say, wow, Sahaj Marg can change me also. If Nagaraj can change, if Girish can change, if Madhu can change, if Kaushika can change, I can also change. So our at the moment our role is, we are the product. We are the salespeople. We are the scientists. We are the experiment. We are the final product of that experiment. We have no other physical product to display and say, look what Sahajmar can produce. We are the product. And how we display ourselves with our behavior, the way we talk, the way we conduct ourselves in society, in the office, at home, that is the crux of the matter. See? Every lead a life in such a way that it create piety, feeling of holiness, feeling of reverence in others. So you have to be reverential, you have to feel holier inside yourself that yes, I am the embodiment of presence of God or the divinity in myself. And when these vibrations touches the others' hearts, slowly that person also would like to become like the master. That's why Babuji says, I don't make disciples, I'll make masters. So when there will be many masters with evolved consciousness, humanity will change.